Okay, welcome once again. Today I'll discuss common size and ratios. So I'll read, the management of board of Zico Limited is reviewing the performance of the company for the year ended 30th June 2021 relative to 30th June 2020. The company is engaged in buying and selling various agricultural products, and despite challenges in the operating environment due to COVID, the results for 2021 are better than those of 2022. The company has provided the following financial statements for the 2 years. So we have Zico Limited, statement of profit or loss for the year ended 30th June 2020, both for 2020 and 2021. Then we have statement of financial position as at 30th June, both for 2020 and 2021. Then we go to required, prepare the following common size reports. One is the vertical analysis for years 2020 and 2021 using revenue as the common base for profit or loss and total asset as the common base for statement of financial position. So this is what you do whenever you get such a question. So start with 2020. So I just copy 2021. So we are analyzing, we are doing what we call the vertical analysis for 2020. And here we say that we are using the base as revenue. So this is what we do. So I'll take the base, which is the revenue. Sorry. Here we have the shillings in thousands. So here you come and you say you pick this because it's the base, then you divide by the base. This is what you compare. Because the base is constant all through, unlock it completely by using F4. Lock it completely by using F4 key. Yeah. Then because I want to spare on time, unlock now the column. Yeah, by putting the dollar sign before F. Then I enter. So when I enter, it will give me 1, and that means 100%. So I just drag this on through. Yeah, and you see they change automatically. So I'll just highlight this. Then I'll change all this to percentage. Yeah, so we have the percentages there. Then I go to 2021. I do the same. I'll pick this. Then I divide by the base and unlock the base completely by using F4 key. Then I'll only lock the column, which is H in this case. I'll only lock H in this case. So I'll shift, then 4, then I enter. So it will also give me 100%. So when I drag, I'll just drag and the formula copies automatically. Formulas copies automatically. Yeah, so by that, I'll change all this into percentage. Yes, and we'll have the percentage there. So I'm done with the profit or loss. So I'll go to statement of financial position. We'll do the same. Say equals to, take the 2020 and 2021. And here we are told the base was the total assets. Yeah, they're saying and total asset as the common base for statement of financial position. So here we'll use the total assets. So this is what we'll do. So I'll come here and say equals to, start with the 2020. So I'll pick this and I'll divide with the common base, which is the total assets here. So I'll lock this because it's constant all through. So I'll lock it completely. Yeah, then I'll only lock the column here because I want to drag it. Say it, yeah, then enter. So when I drag all through up to total capitals and liability, it will give me, it will give me this value. So look at, see, a total capitals and liability is equal to total assets, it's 1. And also a total assets is also 1. So it means that we are right. So I'll just delete these spaces which are 0 and delete them because they are unnecessary. We'll also delete this. Yeah, so we have complete values. Then I just highlight this and put them in percentage form, because you do analysis on percentages. So I'll convert them into percentage. Yeah, then the same I'll do to 2021, and I'll pick this. Then I divide by the common base, which is here now, and I'll lock this completely because it's constant. The reason why we are locking is because that value will be constant all through. Then I'll only lock the column. I'll only lock the column because it's only the column that does not change. So that when I enter, I'll just drag on through. Yeah, and it repeats itself. You can see at total assets, it's 1. For total capitals and liability, which is supposed to equal to, which is equal to the total assets, is also 1. So I'll just introduce percentage. I'll convert all this into percentage. And there we are. Yeah, so that's the analysis. I'll do away with this with 0. Do away with this 0 because there was no any item there. Also do away with this, and also do away with this. Yeah, so those are the figures. Those are the figures. So we are done. We are done. We have just done vertical analysis for year 2020 and 2021 using revenue as the common base for profit or loss and total asset as the common base for statement of financial position. So with this, you are done. You have done the vertical analysis. So let us go to number 2. Horizontal analysis using year 2020 as the common base for analyzing year 2022. So this is how we go about it. So this was vertical. Let me just write here vertical. Vertical analysis. Yeah, then I'll go now to horizontal. So I'll go to horizontal analysis. So this is what I'll do. I'll write here horizontal analysis. Horizontal analysis. Then I'll bond. I'll bond this. Bond through. You just bond it like this. Yeah. It's clear. So here, yeah. So for the saying for horizontal analysis, using year 2020 as the common base for analyzing year 2021. So actually what we're analyzing here is year 2021. So for horizontal analysis, you look at the percentage change. The percentage change. Was there an increase or a decrease? So this is what we'll do. So I just copy for, let me just put there 2021. So the base here is 2020. So it means in both cases for profit or loss, we'll use 2020 as the base, and even for statement of financial position, we'll also use 2020 as the base. So this is what we'll do. So I'll start with revenue, and I'll look at the trend. So I'll say, I'll put a bracket and say revenue. I'll look at the change. So I'll take this minus this. Then I'll say bracket. Then I divide by the base. The base is 2020. Yeah, this is how you check along the line because it's horizontal. So you analyze horizontal. You do what you call the horizontal analysis. So as you can see all through, when you look at 2020, the base, all these bases will be on the column. Yeah, this column. So I can lock the column. Let me see if it will work that way. Let me see if I lock the column. So I'll lock the column F9. Then I'll also lock for this. I'll only lock this. I'll only lock that. So let me lock that. Yeah, I'll also lock that because you see, the values will be going all the way in the F column. Then for H, I'll also lock. I'll also lock the H column alone because they will be going through. So that when I drag, Yeah, just drag. So I'll only also lock the H column because this BDA paper is all about speed. Then I'll enter. Yeah, so when I enter, that's the percentage. So let me see if I drag, if I have values. So I just drag to spare on time, you just drag all the way. Yeah, and you see the values come there automatically. When you click this, you'll realize that is H10, which is this case, is this one. H10 divide by F10, which is this. And then you divide by F10, which is also the base. So the formula copies automatically. Formula will copy automatically, so long as you lock correctly. So I'll just drag this and change this into percentage, so that everything will be in percentage form, as you can see. As you can see. Yeah, so those are the changes in percentage. Yeah, those are the changes. So we continue. So I'll go now to statement of financial position and do the same. So I just pick this 2021 because we're doing analysis under 2021, and we say the base was for the values for 2020. So here also we look at the change. So we can see here property, plant and equipment was 259, and here it is now 571, 570. So this is what we do. We'll do the same thing. I'll create the bracket, then I say 5, take that, then I'll subtract that. Yeah, for 2020, then I divide by the base, which is 2020. Yeah, so you repeat the same thing. So I'll lock the column only. So I'll shift 4. I'll also lock this column. And also lock this column. So then I enter. So when I enter, I can drag comfortably. Now I can drag because the formula has been copied. So I'll just drag all the way. Yeah, this is giving me div because there were no values. So you just delete it. And you can see this is giving me 0%. Yeah, because you take this 80 minus 80 is 0. 0 divided by 80 is 0. So that's why it's giving me 0. Yeah, so that confirms that we are accurate. So I'll delete this and this. Yeah, then you just highlight this. When you highlight that, you change this into percentage. Yeah, and you are done. You are done with the horizontal analysis. You are done with the horizontal analysis. Yeah, so you are done with both vertical and horizontal analysis. That's how you are supposed to tackle that part A of the question. So we come to part B of this question, which is now talking about ratios. So they're saying complete the following ratios for each of the 2 years. So this is what I'll do. I'll write here 2020, then here 2021. So I'll start with the net profit margin, and the formula for the net profit margin is always net profit over revenue. So I'll just go to the formula. I'll check the formula is net profit over revenue. So I'll check where there's net profit. Yeah, net profit. So we'll take the profit for the period. That's the net profit after the income tax expense. So we'll take this and we'll divide by the revenue. The revenue was this for 2020. Yeah, then you just say enter. Yeah, so once you enter, that's the percent. So you can drag for 2021, you just drag. Don't know what's the problem. You know, it's not capturing. So let us see. Yeah, let me go to 2021. You do the same. 2021, you do the same. You'll go to profit for the period, which is this. You divide by the revenue. So that's the formula. And you enter. So those are the margins. So we'll go to return on equity. And the formula for return on equity is the net profit over shareholders' equity. So we'll do the same. So the net profit, we will say we take profit for the period. Yeah, which is this. Then we divide by shareholders' equity. So we'll come here and check at the shareholders' equity. So the shareholder equity is this: share capital and retained earnings. So I'll divide it by that. Yeah, let me see if I drag it can copy all the way. I know it has refused. So I'll just have to spend my time calculating. So the same will apply. So we'll go to net profit for 2021. Net profit on this. We divide by the equity now for 2021, which is 632.92. So you enter. Then I go to current ratio. The formula for current ratio is always current assets over current liabilities. So I'll go to current assets. And the current assets are here. This is the total. Divide by current liabilities. So I'll go to current liabilities, which is this. And I enter. And also go to 2021 and do the same. Current assets. Divide by the current liabilities. Enter. Then I'll go to quick ratio. Quick ratio is always current assets minus inventory. So this is what you do. Then you divide by the current liabilities. So current assets, so just equals to bracket. I'll take the current asset, which is this, minus liability, minus inventory, sorry, bracket. Then you divide by current liabilities, and current liabilities were here. You divide by this, and you enter. Then the same applies to 2021. Same applies to 2021. We'll have current assets. Have current assets, which is this. Sorry, I'll create the bracket first. Now, then I subtract the inventory, which is this. Then I close the bracket. Then I divide all of this by current liabilities here. Now, then we go to debt ratio. Debt ratio, the formula is always total liabilities over total assets. Total liabilities over total assets. I'll say equals to total liabilities for 2020 to be that over total assets, this one. Enter. And I'll go to this and do the same. It's total liability over total assets. So the same applies here. Total liability. Yeah, total liability was total liability this. Divide by total assets, which is this. Enter. So we'll have 0.79. Then we go to debt to equity ratio. Debt equity ratio is always total liabilities over shareholders' equity. So we'll go to total liabilities, which is this, all over shareholders' equity. That's total equity, this one. Yeah, then the same will apply to this. We'll have total liabilities here over total shareholders' equity, which is this. Enter. Now then we go to inventory turnover ratio, which is cost of sales over average inventory. So for 2020, we'll have the cost of sales so I'll start with the negative. Yeah, so that I change this value into positive. So I'll just say equals to divide by inventory for that year. The inventory is here. Enter. With that, then this for 20 will be the same. So I'll start with the negative sign so that I can change cost of sales to positive. Then I divide by the inventory. divide by the inventory. The inventory, yeah, my inventory is here. Yeah, so you enter. Yeah, total assets turnover ratio is equal to revenue over total assets. This is just revenue over total assets. So we'll take revenue for 2020, divide by total assets for 2020. And I don't know why it can't copy. It has refused. So I could have spent the shortest time here. And let us continue. So I'll take the total revenue for 2021 now and divide by the total assets for 2021. The total assets is here. And yeah, and that's all. That's how you are supposed to calculate the ratios. Yeah, that's what the examiner was asking for. So I'll go to part C. Using the financial statement and the various ratios, comment on the performance of year 2021 compared to year 2020 with respect to profitability, liquidity, and solvency. So here we look at the, let me insert. Let me create space here. Yeah, I think that's okay. So here we'll just look, we just analyze the profitability ratio, liquidity ratios, and solvency ratio. So I'll start with the profitability. Profitability ratio. So profitability ratios we have two here. We have net profit margin and return on equity. They are here. So net profit margin and return on equity. Sorry. So you analyze using this ratio. And under this ratio, always a positive margin because we're doing for each of the 2 years. So we'll say always a positive margin is okay. Positive margin is okay for net profit margin. Yeah, positive margin also is okay for return on equity. Yeah. Then we go to liquidity ratio. We'll look at the current ratio and quick ratio. Let's look at the current ratio and quick ratio. And here, if it always has a ratio of 1.5, then it means, yeah, we can, let us see the current ratio, it's 1.3, this is 1.7. Yeah, so this is more than 1.5. So always if it has 1.5, then it means that a company assets, the company assets for one current assets, indicating that the company it's paying its obligation. But like you see, this 1.3 means that it means that the company has 1.3 assets for one current liability. Then this means that the company has 1.7 assets for one current liability. So it means that the company can be able to sort out its short-term obligations. The company will be able to pay its short-term obligations. So it's a good indication that the company is liquid. Yeah, then I'll go to solvency ratio, which is the first one. And the solvency ratio are the debt equity ratio and the debt ratio here. The debt ratio and the debt equity ratio. Yeah, so when you look at this, let me start with debt ratio 0.6, 0.7, 0.6, 0.7. So these are not good figures because they are below 1.5. They are below 1.5. So for debt equity ratio, yeah, they are good figures because any figure that is above 1.5, then it means that the company is in a stable position. The company will not face the solvency. Yeah, the company will not face the solvency. So that's how you do the analysis. So I'll go to the last part, which they're saying prepare a dashboard presentation of net profit margin, return on equity, and debt equity ratio for each of the 2 years. So I'll prepare net profit margin, return on equity, and debt equity for 2020 and 2021. Then we see. So I'll say 2020 for each. So I'll do them separately. So I'll just say 2020 and 2021. So let me say the net profit margin. Let me increase the cell size. Then we have return on equity. We have debt equity ratio. Debt equity ratio. So we'll go to net profit margin and just copy for 2020 there. So I'll pick this. And when I drag it, just give me for 2021. Then the second one, return on equity. Just pick, then you drag for in the interest of time. And then equals to debt equity ratio. Take this. And take the layer. Yeah, then you just have that's now I want to do visualization. So this is what we'll do. I highlight all this. Then I go to insert. I'll click the insert. Then I'll go to recommended charts. Go to recommended charts. And I'll look for something which is presentable. You can see 2020 and 2021. Let me click this. Yeah, this looks nice. So I say okay. And I can pick from different samples. Here, up here. So I can pick any, I can pick this. Yeah, this even give the values the way they are. Give the values the way they are. So I'll just click this. Then I'll change the chart title. Let me drag it here. I'll change the chart title and say presentation for net profit, return on equity, and debt equity ratio. And then I'll create this on the side. Yeah, so it will appear there. Yeah, so for this, you can analyze the net profit margin. You can check for 2020 is in blue, 2021 is on, I think this is colorblind, but this I think it's orange. It's orange. Yeah, so you can check the debt equity ratio for 2020. It was lower than 2021. Then the same return on equity, the net profit the same. Yeah, so with this, you are done. You are done with this question. You have presented the dashboard here. This is the dashboard that presents net profit margin, return on equity, and debt equity ratio for the 2 years. Yeah, and that's now bring us to the end of that question. So that's how you are supposed to tackle the question. By starting by the vertical analysis, then you go and do the horizontal analysis. Then you go and do the horizontal analysis. Then you present the ratios presentation in the dashboard. So this is our dashboard. That's our dashboard. So thank you so much. Yeah, and for those who are following me on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel so that when I do a video like this, you'll be able to get notified. Thank you so much and have a blessed evening.